Yo, Easygoers, thank you for tuning into the Easy Channel one more time. So, we are reviewing Back 4 Blood. Look, the game's fun. I enjoy it. I really enjoyed playing from beginning to end. I think the characters are all entertaining. I like that there's more than 3 or 4. I love that the fact that there's 4 people in the multiplayer. Now let's get into it. Let's start off with the gameplay. So, the gameplay is a bit weird. So first and foremost, there's some bugs with the game. The first and foremost bug that I've dealt with is the mic system. So you know, I play on Xbox Series X, so you know you have a party system when you're streaming online and you want to have people's voices go through the mic and into your stream. It's better that you do it through parties, unless you have, you know, a Discord or you have something else that you're running people through. That's fine. But I tend to run Twitch straight through my Xbox. I put people in a party so people can hear. So I can mute everybody else who's super annoying. Now here's the problem though. I could still hear everybody else. I could hear everybody else. My friends could hear everybody else. Everybody else could hear us. When I muted my mic, people could still hear me. That's not right. If I want to mute my mic and make sure that I'm just enjoying the gameplay, I don't want people to hear me clear my throat or call for chew on food, I want to mute my mic. But unfortunately, I muted my mic and people were still able to hear me. They were still responding to me like, yo, who is coughing? Who is clearing their throat? And so that's a weird bug that they got to fix. And then there was a weird bug where I actually was in a party. Nobody could hear me, which is normal. I'm in a party, but I could still hear them. And then there was a time I was in a party. I couldn't hear anybody. Nobody could hear me, but they could hear the people that were in my party, and they could hear the people that were in the game. It was such a weird situation. I don't know if it's an Xbox thing, a Back 4 Blood thing. I don't know what it is, but I feel like they need to fix that bug quick, because there's going to be a lot of people who are trying to do these Twitches and things like that, and they're going to get these people who blast music or really misogynist, and they're going to get their channels banned because of the things that they say, because you're not trying to have them on there. Second thing, the level design is amazing. I like the fact that they really mix in the fact that you can kind of go linear, you can kind of go off the rails, but at the same time, it is when I say off the linear, meaning like you can go around in certain ways that kind of have these little open areas that you can go left or right, but at the same time, it still ends up in the same destination. I love the fact that they have these little rooms that you go in that give you these little perks. They have some that have sights and stuff like that. We'll move on from that, and then you've got this card system. The card system is the system that really drives the game. The card system is like this. So whatever cards you get, it kind of amplifies your player's abilities. It would either give you the ability to go from melee to stabbing someone with a knife. You have the ability to upgrade your healing ability. The stamina increases. You can sense money that's near you. It's the plethora. But here's the thing: if you don't really have those cards activated, you're pretty much going to struggle in this game. This gameplay is difficult. I mean, this is probably the most difficult survival horror game that I've ever played. And I mean, I've played some tough ones. But here's the thing: it's difficult, and it shouldn't be this difficult, because it's not like the zombies have like infinite lives. You shoot them, they drop. It's not hard. But the fact that this is the next gen console, the amount of zombies on the screen is almost infinite. The fact that all you have to do is disturb a few birds, and pretty much you're off to the races. So you're gonna have a horde of people just running at you and trying to eat you alive, right? So at the same time, I'm just saying that pretty much if you're looking for a difficult survival horror game, you've reached the max right here. And I'm talking about on rookie level. You're going to be stressing out, sweating, people on your face, people yelling in your ears, zombies everywhere, and specials. Now here's the thing about the specials. The specials are just enough to set themselves apart from a Left 4 Dead situation or World War Z situation. You know, because now they've got competitors like Aliens Fireteam, which is a nice survival horror game, and I would recommend that you go out and spend the $40 on that. That's an easy buy. But I haven't done a review on that. If you want to watch some gameplay, I left that on my channel, Easy Channel, if you're not watching it right now. The specials are dope. They're rude because they will combo you, and they know they can combo you. The AI in this game is exceptional. It's almost like you're playing real humans, and in my mindset, I feel like you are playing real humans because of the fact that they can attack you and then retreat. Like if they're losing a fight, they will duck out and then go around the map and meet you at a different point where you'll meet 4 specials at one time. And then you have, once in a while, a boss will erupt out of the ground. And so when you have that card system, you also have a deviant card system where they'll let you know whether the AI has decided to counter your cards that you have there that boost up your abilities and boost up your situation. to all of a sudden counter it, because you may have to fight 2 bosses in that round. I'm talking about massive bosses that take a while to knock down, while at the same time you got 4 specials walking around, spitters and tall boys and boomers just walking around, shooting at you, grabbing, throwing you everywhere, shooting you with little silk whatevers. It's insane. It feels like you don't have a moment's peace. But that is also part of the game's charm. It makes the game constantly evolving. It doesn't feel stagnant. It always changes every time you jump in. Even the zombies are not always in the same place. Now here's the downside. The AI is terrible. So this game really drives forward a multiplayer ideal because of the fact that you can have up to 4 people playing with you, 4 live people, and each one has a perk, and each one has a weapons perk, and there's so much that goes into that. But the AI is terrible. They're really only good for healing you and giving you ammunition. They're not really good to have something as like a relationship and say, yes, this dude has got my back. He's shooting zombies. He's watching my 6. Absolutely not. They're not going to be watching your 6 at all. They'll be sitting right next to you in a crouched position, taking all the hits. I mean, that's good for a while. But once they go down, you have to go pick them up. It's absolute ludicrousy. I feel like the developers could have done better to say, look, if this game is this difficult, we at least have to offer a little bit of support with the AI so that you're not killing yourself every time you play this game. And that takes me to the weapons. So the weapons feel realistic. I like how each one has their own kind of perk, and they give you a little bonus where it tells you the number of damage it does, almost RPG-ish. And you can add attachments, like you can add, stocks, you can add silencers. It's not always that you can add it, it's what's available when you jump into the game from these little, I want to say like the kind of like ammo caches. You got to open them up with a toolbox. Now when you're in the beginning of the game and you're in the safe room, they have one available. You spend money, you get it. When you're out and about in the field, they just give you whatever's in the ammo stash. They may have a gun in there, they may have some boxes of stocks and sights and whatever. So the downside to it is it doesn't feel customizable. It feels random. It feels so random that if you're waiting to get a shotgun, you're most likely not going to get it. You're probably going to get some sort of Uzi that's been sitting there, or a sidearm. And the fact that you have to choose a sidearm over a melee weapon like a machete, a hatchet,
no, I thought you meant like
a pistol. They have all types of little sidearms and melee weapons. So the question really becomes, what's your play style? And if it is your playstyle, it's pretty much which character you pick in the beginning. If you're more of a melee person looking for the bats and the knives and things like that, you got Angelo, who's pretty much got a machete in the beginning, and another girl that's got a bat with barbed wire on it. If you're somebody who likes sidearms, then you're probably looking at the other two. So it kind of mixes things up, and plus you have add-on characters that you can kind of pick up that get nice little cutscenes and things like that introduce these characters, which kind of sets it apart from Left 4 Dead again, because you only had 4 characters in Left 4 Dead. You had like Coach, you had some old army guy, and 2 other people. This one, plethora of characters, plethora of playing styles. They try to make them look super badass, but in reality, once you jump into that gameplay will let you know that you're not that badass. Let's just say that right now. So anyway, that's the gameplay in a nutshell, right? So you're gonna get tarnished really quickly. The AI is not that great. The weapons feel randomized, so you're not going to be too customized. So if you don't like your loadout, especially when you get into a safe house, tough. You're going to have to deal with it until you get to another area where you can buy more guns, or buy different guns, or find different guns. The thing is that it's driving multiplayer. Now here's the thing about the graphics. We're going to go to the graphics and we're going to go to multiplayer. So graphics first is this game is gorgeous. It has the ability to really uphold so many zombies on screen. That's not a downside. It's actually super fun for me. I like difficult games. But for some people who jump into a rookie mode, who are looking for a lighter version of this game, you're not going to get it. You're going to get tarnished very quickly. The graphics are going to uphold, especially in the next gen. If you got PC, you're going to be dealing with a lot. And there's a lot of PC players playing this game. But at the same time, it's just going to be an immense amount of people just rushing up on your screen. And if you hit those birds, especially multiple birds, you're going to be literally swarmed, and you're not going to know where they're coming from. You don't hear their footsteps. You just hear them making noises, and you're going to have to fight, and you're going to end up being on your back, and you're going to end up dead a lot. And they give you 2 continues, and that's it. Once you're done with those 2 continues, you got to start the whole level all over again. Now, let's jump into the multiplayer, because the graphics is just as beautiful. I mean, there's not much to talk about. There's no glitches with the graphics. I haven't seen any frame drops or any pixelations. It was amazing, but also I'm on the Series X, so I don't expect to see that. If I saw that, then we'd be reviewing the Series X. Multiplayer. This is why I was talking about the AI. The AI is trash, and the multiplayer is even, I'm not going to say it's even more trash. It's actually great because I haven't run into too much toxicity, but the problem is if they don't win on the first go, if you die on the first go, or even if they get downed and they die, the thing about the game is once you die, you respawn in a different area. You come back as like in a closet or hanging on the wall, and the person can take you down and you're back in the game. The problem is people just quit. Once they get downed, they quit instantaneously. It's over. They're done. And I really hate that about multiplayer. It's almost like you're playing Apex Pugs. As soon as someone gets downed and they don't like it, they quit and then they come back in. I don't see the inspiration in that. The whole point of the survival horror is to survive. So if you die, wait till they come get you. They may make it. There's been plenty of times when it was me by myself and my teammates were down and they were like, oh, we're gonna die. And then I ended up getting everybody up. And they were like, wow, we did it. But you gotta stick it out. But that's the problem with the multiplayer. So many people are willing to quit so quickly, and it takes the fun out of the game, especially when you're in the hardest difficulties, because everybody feels like a pro. You're not a pro. I'm not a pro. I'm all about enjoying the game. You should be too. So if you're playing this game, don't quit. Because that's what's taking this multiplayer down a notch, and I am actually really disappointed in this multiplayer. But overall, all in all, this game is a really great survival horror title, especially since it's driven in the multiplayer aspect. It is, but if you were to come down and say easy, what are you going to rate this game? Are you going to rate it an easy buy, an easy pass? I'm going to say it's an easy rent. It's an easy rent because I believe there are better survival horror games out there. Even when you look at, I'm not going to compare it necessarily to Left 4 Dead right now, because Left 4 Dead is a last gen situation. When I say last gen, I mean a last gen. It's 360. I say it's something that should be left in the past. Right now, it's competing with an Aliens Fireteam, which I think is at a better price. Even though both were, even though Back 4 Blood is on Game Pass, it's not going to be there forever, and you're going to have to eventually buy it. But I'm not buying it. If it wasn't on Game Pass, I don't think this is a game I would buy. It would be a game that I rent and I give back. Aliens Fireteam was $40. I would easily buy that game. It's 3 players, which makes it more difficult. The alien story is much better. The aliens, even though there's not a whole ton of them, feel unique in fighting them all the time. They're creative in how they attack you. It changes every single time. This does the same, and they have great AI, but this AI is a little bit overboard. I feel like they could have made it a little simpler for people to be able to get through this game. Even though I like a challenge, I think sometimes it's too much of a challenge. The card system is too complicated. The weapons don't feel personalized. The upgrading, there's no upgrading your individual characters. You just come with cards. So whoever you pick, even if you have a card, it's not always going to be the best. So at the end of the day, I think it's just too complicated they're trying to reinvent the wheel. This is the Left 4 Dead 3 that everybody was hoping to get. In reality, they went too far, and I think they really kind of turned off some players. But at the end of the day, it still is fun. It's enjoyable. I think this is a great rent. I think this is something that you can enjoy with your friends. But other than that, if you don't have any friends, you're going to be going on a long time on the first stage because it's that difficult. But anyways, man, I appreciate you guys chilling with me. As always, this is an easy rent. As always, this is easy. You guys leave me a note in the comment. Let me know what I should play next, what I should rate next, whether you should buy it, rent it, pass it. You'll know. It's super easy. But anyways, as always, y'all be easy.